Welcome back, Love Nation. This is Nina. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to everybody that has been coming to my channel. Like this video, share this video, and hit that notification bell so you know when I drop my next one. You guys, this Fani Willis investigation that is going on in the state of Georgia is definitely heating up. There are actually three things I found from the Ashley Merchant testimony outside of the Nathan situation where she could actually lose her law license. I'm about to get into the three reasons why right now. Like, share, subscribe. I'm going to try to break this down. The first thing we're going to start with is the book deal that she shouldn't have spoke about.
Okay. So you're waiting on the judge to rule on your motion to disqualify.
Yes, sir.
In summation, the grounds for that are what? That this is improper for a prosecutor to have a relationship with the special prosecutor?
Yes, it is a conflict of interest.
Okay. And that's because of the financial benefits or just because?
Mainly the financial benefits. There's a couple different aspects to it. We've also alleged some other misconduct because the prosecutors aren't allowed to publicly condemn an accused prior to trial. And she made a speech at a church and said this was racially motivated, talked extensively about the clients being guilty. She testified at our hearing that our clients were guilty, that my client was, guilty of trying to, I don't even remember, subvert democracy or something. But she's made a number of public statements condemning their guilt, which is not allowed.
That's inappropriate conduct for a prosecutor?
Very much so. And there's case law on that. There's bar rules on that. So there were a lot of public speeches that were made along the way. And, they're you can kind of follow them through this media monitoring company. But so she makes these and then she got disqualified from prosecuting another person she wanted to prosecute.
For making public statements?
It was for a fundraising. She had thrown a fundraiser for his opponent, his political opponent.
Right.
So when that happened, you sort of see her press stuff dwindle a little bit. So she stopped making as many public comments. But then when this motion came about, she made the church speech, as I'd call it, where she's, calls me and, my client racist and says, it condemns their guilt. And then she also gave interviews to this book. I don't know, the timing was just, it was just nuts. But the book came out right around the time that all this was happening, and it's called Find Me the Votes. And
that came out in 2024, you're saying?
It came out a month ago, if even. And she literally let the authors of this book in when she was deciding how to prosecute this case, who to indict, who not to indict. I mean, their whole thing is that they had unfettered, behind the scenes access to her thought process and stuff. So, and she's talking about all of this, that they're guilty. But the big thing for the forensic misconduct is she's in the church speech, she's saying, and she says this in the book too, that God has told her to prosecute them. So the theme between these two things is that God told her to do this and that she is doing the will of God by prosecuting our clients. And that is.
All right, so I just showed you guys that first clip from the hearing that went down Friday. Now I am about to get into the second clip, which is equally alarming to Fani Willis. Again, outside of the extramarital affair that she had with Nathan, whom she hired to be a special prosecutor. Ashley Merchant is discussing the campaign money that Fani Willis decided to borrow from her campaign. You guys, you cannot do this. This is illegal in any political capacity, especially in office. You cannot do this. We are about to get into this second fact, you guys. And again, this is a learning video. This is all very shocking. We're going to get into this clip. Then I'm going to come back with my commentary.
In cash or receiving cash?
No, and we asked her where you got it. She said that she borrowed it from her campaign. So she said the original large sum of cash came from her campaign.
I
She
think
took
all
that
of
out.
us up here that have campaigns know you can't take campaign funds for personal use, right?
I'm not well versed in that area of law, but that is my
It's
understanding.
pretty black and white.
So she testified that she took that the majority of the cash she had on hand was from her campaign, that a loan she had given herself from the campaign. She was very clear about that. And then she also said that when it got low, she would supplement it by getting like $50 back at Publix. But I mean, she's giving him, $4,000, $2,500, so, large sums of cash. So, and there's no trail, obviously. There's no record of any of that.
All right, you guys, we're about to get into this third clip, and I'm going to tell you guys, this is probably one of the most troubling. Um, there seems to be a whole scam going on here. And again, this is outside of the direct relationship. Apparently, the IOTA account seems to have been borrowed, used, and been used for personal use. Now, the IOTA situation is going to be explained better in detail as I play this clip. I want you guys to listen very closely because a lawyer cannot just take the funds from the IOTA account, which is basically awarded money from a case willy-nilly for personal use. But it seems to have been done to some degree between Fani and Nathan. You guys listen to this clip. I definitely want to know what you guys think. This is a hot legal mess.
In some of the documents you produced to us, there are a couple of IOTA trust accounts. Those were Mr. Wade's accounts?
Yes.
Okay, so he had more than one trust account in his law firm?
Yes, he did.
And did you find any discrepancy or whether these funds were deposited there?
Yes, and so he testified because we asked him where he deposited the funds.
And these are the funds where his paychecks basically from Fulton DA's office?
Yes.
Okay.
At first, he deposited them to his joint IOLTA that he had with his law partners, and then he started depositing them to his when I say personal, just him IOLTA, an IOLTA that did not have anything to do with Mr. Bradley or Mr. Campbell.
Do you think Mr. Bradley was aware that he was running the money through a separate account?
I think it might have been part of the reason that they dissolved.
That they broke up?
Yes.
Do you think his ex-wife knew that this money was being held in a trust account rather than previously it had been going through his own bank account?
His ex-wife didn't have any idea. I mean, you could tell from the pleadings that he was even making this much money. I mean, he filed some interrogatories and some answers in that divorce case saying that he made a couple $1,000s a month. I mean, very, very minimal amounts.
We knew he was making up to $35,000 a month under this contract.
Right, and he has a lot of money parked in one of those IOLTAs that's not disclosed in the divorce.
Okay. So that's, does it look like he was using his law firm trust account or his personal lawyer? IOLTA is a legal trust account, right?
Yes.
The interest from it goes to the state bar to help fund some
Yes.
indigent care or whatever, right?
Yes. As much as I wish we could park money in our IOLTAs that was earned and not pay ourselves, we can't do that. So when you earn money, you can't leave it in your IOLTA. IOLTAs are for client money, so they're a lawyer trust account, and essentially what they are is like if you settle a divorce case, not a divorce case, I'm sorry, you settle a civil rights case or a
Personal injury case.
Personal injury case,
Right.
and you get $100,000, and 60 of that's the clients and 40 of it's the lawyers. It has to go into your IOLTA. It sits there until you clear the case out. You finalize the case, you send a settlement letter, you get the amount, and you have to put it in your actual business account, and then the client gets their check for their part. So IOLTAs are very highly regulated by the state bar. They can't commingle funds. It can't be earned money. It's got to be money that's not earned. And the interest does go to the state bar, but once you earn the money, you have to pay it. You have to have it in your account because you have to claim it on your taxes.
Right.
I mean, lawyers wish that they could keep money in IOLTAs and not have to pay taxes on it until it was a year that.
All right. So sometimes.
All right, so you guys just heard those clips, and I'm going to share my opinion at this point. This is a complete hot mess. To be caught up in all of these receipts and, literally, Ashley Merchant, I have to give her props for this. She came with her receipts that she needed to come up with. This is definitely going to be the fall of Fani Willis. And to have worked so hard to go through law school, to be practicing and studying and taking on clients and working your way up all the way through the justice system to be a head prosecutor for a major metropolitan area, to literally throw it all away for a married man that you chose to allegedly have an affair with, is sad. And then to be wrapped up in all of these tribulations, not only from this tarnishing your image, but to be doing a whirlwind, speak all for a book, this IOTA situation, and, basically everything else going on. Her reputation is ruined at this point. It's ruined at this point. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. And the sad thing is, and we've seen this, with the Portia situation, once you try to deal with a married man and then you feel like you coming up on his wife, look at how the tables have turned on you. And I really do hope that she did put money, underneath the table per se, because Fanny gonna need it. Is she gonna need it? She's going to probably be disbarred after this. It did not seem like any of the facts that came up could really be questioned at this point, and it did not seem like, she could probably BS her way out of this. Ashley, again, came out with facts, basically bringing down this entire Fani Willis DA's office, prosecuting this case. And again, this is sad because, when you have to sneak around to be with a man after all of the education and everything else. And Fanny is definitely a nice looking woman. But again, like I said, after watching this hearing, there's just no way to deny this. I'm going to put the full link in the description if you guys want to watch the entire hearing for yourself. Ashley came and she was just not playing. She brought up a lot of indisputable facts. And this is outside of the allegations of the relationship with her and Nathan. She literally did things that can and will self-destruct her law license. And again, I really do hope that she has cash under the mattress, because she is probably going to be needing that money. Share your opinions below, you guys. Like, share, subscribe. This was a case update for Fani Willis. Until next time, be safe. Enjoy your night. Bye, guys.